if we just open our mind to, okay, well, this is the way I want to live my life. How can I have it? And even if that is going to move to a big city, moving to LA, right? How can I have it? And asking God, asking the universe, this is what I would like to do. Can you please show me how I can have it? Hello, my loves. I know it's been a while since we've had a vlog last. I've had so much happening in my life in the last couple of months. There was so much celebrating people's love. I went on bachelorette trips. I went to weddings. It was a lot of celebrating, a lot of bridal showers and afroshat challah, which is basically in the Jewish religion. We get together and we bake challah together and pray for the bride, and the bride prays for herself and her marriage and her home, and also for all of us, for everybody who's there. And I just couldn't bring a camera with me around everywhere. I mean, I probably could, but I've told you before that I really prioritize living my life in the moment and vlogging. I love vlogging my day-to-day life because that's easy. I can just turn a camera on. It's just me, you know, and I can talk to you and I can show you what I'm doing. But when there's other people and I have to think about different angles and stuff, I don't like to do that. I like to be in the moment. So doesn't mean that I won't do it in the future. Maybe I will, but so I've been to Mexico a couple of times since the last vlog, I think. And I've because everybody wants to get married in Mexico and everybody's having their bachelorette party in Mexico. I've been there like 4 times this year. I should be a Mexican citizen. Since then, I've also moved. It's a new stage in my life. It's a new chapter and it's really feeling good, and it's such a mystery. And I know that all of our lives, every single one of us, none of us know what tomorrow holds. None of us know what the next minute holds, really, truthfully. But I've never felt how mysterious life could be as much as I do right now. I don't know if I'm gonna stay in Sedona. I don't know if I'm gonna go travel. I don't know my relationship situation, which I probably, by the end of this video, I'm gonna share some things since the last time that we spoke. Yeah, there's just a lot of changes, a lot of changes, and it's all good. It's changes, change is interesting because it's uncomfortable, right? Change is uncomfortable. It's like things have been one way my entire life or the last couple of years, and suddenly things are just being shaken up so much. My friendships are changing, my family situation, my living. For all of us, we all have different things that change, and it's like this bittersweet feeling of I want things to stay the same. I miss it, but also there's no growth in that. There's no experience in that. And the whole reason why we came into this human reality, this human experience, is to feel everything. And so we must have change in order to feel things. We could stay stagnant, we can stay the same, and then one whole human life is lost that way. It's a way to live. I don't know if it's necessarily a good or bad way to live, but there's so much to experience, and so we must embrace change. Of course, I went on this tangent right here. Today, what I'm going to do is I have to work on a bunch of video scripts. So I set up my office, spent the last couple of hours doing that. There's still a lot of organizing that I need to do, but I have my setup over here, and I have to organize my electronics still, all my tools. This is my sunroom, my beloved sunroom. You might remember, with all the books. Look at my books. So let's get the day started. Today's vlog is sponsored by my new favorite product, and you need to know about this if you have a puppy or a dog who tends to get anxious, maybe when you're not around, when you're not home. This saved me, you guys. It saved me. So when Cradle reached out to me for me to try out their products, I was so excited. Cradle is a dog supplement company with the focus of helping dogs live stress-free lives. And when our dogs are stress-free, then they live in happier, healthier homes. And they do this with really easy to use, natural, calming products. So I didn't know this until I had my own little anxious baby at home, but there's about 40 million dogs in the US who suffer from some sort of stress-related behavior, which is so crazy to me because it's like dogs are bred to be as human-like as possible. That's what my trainer always tells me. And It's so crazy that us humans are running around so stressed out, hypertense all the time, and our dogs are learning this from us. So I discovered these bliss bars. They have ones without CBD and then these bliss bars with CBD. It's a soft bake. These calm and relax our dogs, and they are made for daily use, which is really nice for me. Cradle offers these really innovative products, like an all-day calming chew. They have chews, they have melts, they have these bliss bars, they have a bunch of different products. Their non-CBD products are even available at Walmart, so you can run out today and grab one. I'm personally really happy that I'll have Cradle in time for the 4th of July, because you might not know that that is the #1 day of stress for most dogs. There's the most incidences of dogs running away because they're so afraid of the loud noises and the sounds and the commotion during the 4th of July. So if you have a baby at home that tends to get anxious about things like that you want to have just a happier, stress-free life, really do check out Cradle. They have pure human-grade ingredients with natural flavoring and no artificial colors. I give Juju all the highest quality stuff that I can because I want him to be the happiest and healthiest for as long as possible. If you want to check out Cradle for your fur baby, go to cradlemypet.com/Leeor. I'll put it here and in the description below, and use my promo code Leeor, L-E-E-O-R. You're going to get 20% off. If you order online before June 28th, you'll have your product in time for the 4th of July, which is a big deal for your baby. Thank you, Cradle, for sponsoring this video. In a Whole Foods run, we have no food in the house. My favorite place. So I usually eat within an hour of waking up. I woke up about 3 hours ago, and I haven't eaten because there's no food at my house. So I grabbed this avocado cucumber roll. I'm gonna eat that right now. Yum. Going to try to do some work outside, even though this glaring sun will probably obscure my laptop. But I want to be with Juju when he plays outdoors. Okay, I don't know what it is about Sedona, but I get hungrier here. So it's 1 o'clock and we're going to do an afternoon avocado toast. I forgot sriracha, but how pretty is my toast? Okay, now to talk about what this video is probably titled right now. I think that some of you are wondering why I left LA, and I think there's still probably some confusion about whether I was living in Sedona or what was going on, which makes sense. Obviously, I don't expect you all to watch every single video I post and every single thing I post on Instagram. But to explain that a little bit, I was going back and forth from LA. I still had an apartment over in LA, in the valley, next to my grandparents, next to my mom, next to my family. And I would go back and forth. Now, my lease was up in LA, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to continue living where I was living. The neighborhood was getting worse and worse, and I was feeling increasingly uncomfortable walking outside. I need to be outside as much as possible, and being so far away from nature and not just being able to go outside and just be, it's all concrete, all street, all city, which a lot of people love to live that way. And I used to love to live that way too, and that's totally fine. But it just wasn't feeling right for me. So I started going month to month. And I was month to month for about 2 or 3 months. And the management of the apartment was like, we're raising your rent by $500 a month, which, fine, that's fine. I think it's crazy, first of all. Yes, I could afford it, of course, right? Abundance, prosperity, all that. But there are people out there who literally can't even pay an extra $100 of rent a month. It is insane to me that apartment complexes can just raise rent like that out of nowhere in such high amounts. People can't afford that. Some people live paycheck to paycheck. Sorry, it's a little side note. So they told me that they're going to raise my rent by $500 a month. And I was just thinking, I don't even like living here anymore. I love being around my friends and my family, but I'm a very open-minded person, okay? So I subscribe to several different schools of thoughts and a thought. And one aspect of me is like, well, you thrive in whatever situation you're in, whatever your external surroundings are, you can transmute them. And on the other hand, it's like, if you're not living in a place that you're happy, if you're in a negative situation and you can get out of it, then get out of it. Go somewhere else. Do what feels right for you. Now, this move to Sedona full-time was very scary. I'm very far away from everything that I've known most of my life. But I talked to a couple of friends, especially I have this friend, I met him on Instagram. His name is Ben. He's the fear guy. And he was talking, we got to know each other on the phone, and he was telling me, he's like, basically telling me, reminding me that the things that scare me are usually exactly what I need to be doing for my journey, right? And that is one of my mantras. Do it because you're scared. When I went to Mexico this past time, everybody was going to go, what's it called? Hang gliding? Oh, what's it called when you go from one tree or one part to the next, you slide through? You guys know what I'm talking about. I had never done it before, and before ayahuasca, I was afraid of heights. After ayahuasca, I wasn't afraid anymore. But this was new for me. I never did roller coasters or anything like that. And it was 150 feet up in the air, and half the girls in the group started having panic attacks climbing the stairs up. And I was scared, and the higher I got up, the more I was like, oh my God. But you know, I have this mantra of do it because you're afraid. So I did it anyways, and it wasn't scary at all. It was very cool, very fun, and I'm so grateful that I did it. So again, I'm doing things because I'm scared. I am so scared of getting into a committed relationship, but I'm going to do it because I'm scared. Because it turns out that doing the things that scare us tend to be the best thing for us. It's almost like our intuition sometimes speaks to us through fear. Like California in its own is beautiful, but LA has become degraded and dangerous and scary. And I'm not advocating for running away from things that are, you know, from darkness. If anything, it's like, let's transmute this. But I found myself having to transmute energy on a daily basis and just tired all the time and uncomfortable. The energy is very close together. It's very contracted. Whereas in a place like this in Sedona, of course, there's no getting around it. The frequency is higher. There's an expansive feeling. There's more room. There's no, you know, it's something I prefer. I also prefer the pace, the timing of living in a town like this over a big city. I prefer to live on a slower level, and, you know, you can try as hard as you can to live slowly in a fast-paced world, but there's a rhythm that you're always going to be in training to, because the city is big, the city is powerful, the city contains millions of people, and so your body is in training, your heart, your mind, your breath are all in training to this fast-paced lifestyle. Whereas when you go to somewhere like Sedona, after a few days, you suddenly begin to slow down. And the little things are really what stands out, and what's really, you know, it's the little things in life. It's making a meal, taking your time to make a meal. I take more time here than I would in LA. It's reading a book, you know, without any goal in mind, just reading for the sake of reading. And these are all things that I did in Los Angeles also, but there was more of a guilt there. Like, everybody's hustling. What am I doing just reading a book? You know? Overall, what I say is we can choose the way we want to live, and it's more accessible than we give it credit for. It's 111 as I say this. It's more accessible than we think. And if we just open our mind to, okay, well, this is the way I want to live my life. How can I have it? And even if that is going to move to a big city, moving to LA, right? How can I have it? And asking God, asking the universe, this is what I would like to do. Can you please show me how I can have it? Show me how I can do this. You'll see doors open where there were only walls before. You really will. Hi, Editor Leeor here. I just realized as I'm listening to myself say this rant that I didn't speak about the most important aspect of this. That the reason why my rent was being raised $500 is because the universe was making me increasingly uncomfortable staying where I was to get me to act, to get me to move. Let's change something. Let's do this. So here, let's make it more uncomfortable for you here. Here's some people with guns outside of your home and SWAT team outside of your house all the time. Let's make this more and more uncomfortable. Pushing me out of my comfort zone to make a real change. All right, back to your video. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share about why I moved to Sedona. This is where I am for the foreseeable future, but I am looking elsewhere still, just because, there's a whole world out there. I'd love to start traveling more, and Sedona is very far out of the way. It's very far from airports, from international airports. So it's not the best hub to live in if you want to travel. So that's my only thing here. If there was an airport closer, this would be a no-brainer. This is where I would be, like, for good. But the fact that I have to, travel 2-3 hours in order just to get to the airport is a little difficult. Other than that, I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm so excited about being here. I'm so excited. I'm going to clear some space in my yard over here. I'm going to start hosting ceremonies eventually. Going to have you over to my house for sound baths, for yoga, for hypnotherapy, for breath work, for all the good stuff. It's been a fast year so far for me, and I'm really looking forward to slowing down, to settling in with Juju, and potentially the person that I manifested, which I've been talking to you guys about, calling somebody in. And in a past video, I asked myself and I said, I'm not going to settle for anything unless it's the real thing. And I'm jumping the gun by telling you about it a little bit, but I am so excited about this situation that's been presented to me. I've prayed for this. I've prayed for this person. I've manifested this person. I've called him in. And he knows already. It hasn't been a long time, but it is so clear to me that we are some sort of soulmates. And I don't say that lightly. I've only told one other person in my life that you guys know that I believe that we're soulmates. We agree that we're some sort of soulmates. And I know that I've had my karmic soulmate in the past, which was that abusive relationship that I had to go through. This is like when I know what it is for sure, when I tell you guys the story of all of it, it's mind-boggling. It's perfect, and it's what I prayed for. And I was talking to my mom about it yesterday and crying to her because it's like, God is so real. The universe gives you everything you ask for. 2 months ago, I hosted a ceremony on Zoom with some of you. You may have been there. It was April, I believe. And what I called in was my soulmate. And my soulmate showed up. I know it's early, but I know how I feel, and it's just like, ask what you want. Ask for what you want, because it happens. Pray for it. Come to my ceremonies. Let's manifest it together. I'm going to get emotional. I'm going to do a whole video about this when I feel more comfortable, but I wanted to put it towards the end for the ones who watch the whole thing. I know you guys are my secret keepers, where I put this obviously online for everybody to see, but not everybody lasts until now. So if you want to hear more about it, if you're keeping up with this journey, let me know. And I'm really happy, and I pray for love, happiness, joy, prosperity, health, wealth, abundance, good memories, great friends, all the good things in this universe for us all. Amen, baby. Okay, I have to marinate some tofu now.